And then it doesn't start. What is going on?
I don't know
Here
why
we
you
go.
don't start it earlier.
Okay, serious song today. Do you like
Because it's a
Coldplay?
serious topic
It is a
tonight.
serious topic, yes. So this is Coldplay, Fix You. I love this song, actually. Okay, so it is Monday night, and that means it's Kim's Top 5, which is always good. We love having you here. So here's a question. Send us some love if you're on there. Just hit that button. I love this. Okay, I'll do a tasteful fade out. There we go.
The song of tonight.
It is, yeah. So it's Kim's Top 5, and tonight we're talking about top 5 for grief, and sadness, I guess.
Well, grief and loss, yeah.
Grief and loss, yeah. So I'm guessing there's not going to be a whole lot of opportunities for humour and ridiculousness.
No, you'll have to be on your best behaviour.
I will. Well, as I was saying before, I've had quite a bit of experience about this stuff too. In my former life, I worked with a lot of families and people who had lost loved ones. So, yeah, it's something that's quite close to my heart. So,
My turn to take it away?
talk to us. Yeah.
All right, so I wanted to talk about the stages of grief because it's definitely something that when I was at university, I did a subject on death and dying, and we actually read Kubler-Ross's book on death and dying where it actually details the stages of grief, because a lot of people, you'll hear them say things like, just get over it,
Always a really helpful bit of advice,
like
isn't it?
you've grieved long enough, it's time to move on. And
it's been 2 days now, get over it.
Yeah, so the thing is with grief, and I guess this is what the message that I want to give, is that there isn't an end or, it basically comes in waves.
Yeah.
So there isn't a begin point and an end point. And the thing is that you can actually sometimes move forward and go back through the stages. It's not like it starts and ends and you're done. Like you can actually move backwards and forwards over time through the stages. You can go around in a circle.
Yeah.
All kinds of things can happen. So I guess in terms of, we're not going to give you like my number 5, 4, 3, 2 and my best one. We're actually going to talk about the 5 stages of grief, and I'm going to give you an essential oil blend from Young Living for each of those 5 stages. So that's more what I'm doing rather than my top 5 tonight. So.
Okay. And as Kim said, if I can just jump in there, as Kim said, there's no right way to grieve. Like one of the questions that I've been asked so many times is it okay to feel like this? And what I say to everyone is, of course it's okay to feel the way that you do, because that's the way that you feel. So there's no right way of working through this. You just have to take it as it comes.
Yeah.
And you will get through it. That's the other thing that I wanted to say, as painful as it is. And it's not to say that everything's roses at the end, but it is a process that you can work through, and you can come out the other end and you can be stronger. So, yeah, if you're in the middle of that right now, there is hope, okay? So hang in there.
And I guess the first thing that I want to do is to say that essential oils are in no way a substitute for counselling, and that if you are going through grief and you need support and help, then you need to reach out and get some counselling. You can go to your doctor and get a referral so that you can go and get some free assistance from a psychologist. You can go and get counselling. You can even join a support group. I used to run a neighbourhood centre, and we had a bereavement support group at our centre. And there's lots of, depending on what the loss or the grief is about, like maybe it's about a relationship and you get counselling about the relationship, or join a group with other people who've gone through separation or divorce. Maybe it's a cancer support group, whatever the support group is. But there's, as I say, there's no substitute for counselling and for getting support, okay? So essential oils just help support you on an emotional level, but in no way are they a substitute for good quality help. So, all right, so number 5, I'm going to talk in terms of the 5 stages. So the first stage of grief is actually denial. So I'm going to talk about my own situation. I've only really had 2 significant people in my life pass away. One was my grandma. And I went through all of these stages when my grandma passed away, because what happened for me was I was actually in Egypt at the time that my grandma had a stroke. And, you know, it was a trip of a lifetime, you know, like I've had heaps more trips of a lifetime since, but it was the trip of a lifetime. And so I was in Egypt and my grandma had a stroke like a couple of days into my trip, and my mum didn't tell me because she wanted me to keep going and enjoying my holiday. And, you know, I was, you know, in shock. Like, you know, when I actually got it out of her when I rang her from Bahrain, of all places, because I rang her to see if she was, you know, going to pick me up from the airport or something. And my mum was really strange, and I could tell on the phone that she was. And so that was when my mum told me. And so I spent the whole flight back from Egypt and Bahrain to Australia in absolute shock and denial. And also during this first stage, you can actually feel numb. Like it's like you don't have any feeling, like you just feel numb. Some people can even feel elation. So maybe, you know, when, you know, if someone's been sick for a long time and they pass away, and you can actually feel elated during this stage.
My mum was like that when my dad was sick. She was happy in the sense of not because he died, but because he was, you know, set free, and that was an awesome thing. Yeah, no longer in pain. So sometimes in that stage one, so it's usually denial, shock, fear, numbness, or even elation. So the oil for that stage is actually acceptance. Okay, it's, you know, as I say, there's no rush to get through any of these stages. You take as long as you need, and the best thing is to take as long as you need, because if you suppress those feelings and don't deal with them, then they will get stored away somewhere else in your body, and they'll just keep coming back and coming back and coming back. So you want to go through this grieving process, you want to deal with these emotions, and an essential oil blend that can help is acceptance. So in acceptance, there's oils like geranium, frankincense, I'm reading this so that I don't miss any, blue tansy, sandalwood, neroli, coriander, bergamot, ylang-ylang, blue cypress, jasmine, German chamomile, grapefruit, tangerine, spearmint, lemon, ocotillo, and rose. So where we use, you can diffuse this oil blend, or you can apply it to your sacral chakra. So in terms of our chakras, we have crown, third eye, throat, heart, solar plexus is above our belly button, and sacral is below. So you can apply it there. You can put it behind your ears, on your heart, on your chest, well, anywhere on your heart or chest, and on your wrist. So I love acceptance. I wear it as a perfume. It's beautiful. It's really subtle kind of blend, isn't it?
So I often put it on my diffuser bracelet on my wrist. So
nice. So
that's the first stage of grief, okay, that denial and shock.
Yep.
The second stage is where we start to get angry, okay? So as I said, my grandma had a stroke, but she didn't pass away straight away. And she then sort of got some care, and while she was in that facility, she got a urinary tract infection. And I got so angry at the nursing staff, and I know my dad did too, because it was like, you know, she was in her late 80s, like, you know, she wasn't a young person, but I just felt like they didn't give her the care that, you know, that she should have got. And then I was angry at us because we'd put her in there and we didn't look after her, and maybe if she'd come home and maybe you know, like, I was really angry at the I was angry at the care facility, then I was angry at the hospital, and you know, you get frustrated. And so the oil that if you're feeling anger, even if it's not in a grieving process, but just anger in general, is release. So you apply release over your liver, because anger is stored in our liver. So our liver is on our right side of our body, just below our sort of breast area. It's sort of under the ribs, if you like, from under the ribs down. So release has oils like ylang-ylang, lavender, geranium, sandalwood, and it's got olive oil as the carrier oil. And I mean, it's another one that I could definitely wear as a perfume. You can diffuse that, as I say, put it over your liver, even over your heart if you really like release.
Even just breathing it in, it does something just kind of lets go. Can I just say one thing about the anger thing? You know, as you said, you got angry at the hospital, you got angry at yourselves, but it's not unusual to actually be angry with the person who's died, which makes it really complicated, because we feel like we shouldn't be angry with this person. You know, we love them, and it's not right, and they've died. But, you know, it can happen in accidents, in situations like that. And not just, obviously when we lose someone, but when we lose something. So it could be the end of a relationship, or all kinds of things. Losing a job, we go through all these stages. So be prepared to be angry, and I give yourself permission to be angry, even if it is with that person who's just died, because we need to just process it. Anger is usually a sign of something else that's going on. It's a little sign that we need to process something else. So release.
So the next stage is around bargaining. So struggling to find meaning, like, why did this happen? What if? So for me, with my grandma, it was, what if we didn't put her in that home? What if I hadn't even gone away? Because it was really interesting. The night before I flew out to Egypt, my grandma, we sort of had a dinner at my parents' house, and my grandma was there. And my grandma actually said to me, I don't want you to go. I don't think you should go. Something's going to happen to you. I can feel it. And she thought something was going to happen to me. Like, she was adamant that she could feel that something was going to happen to me. And that's what she said to me. And I said, Grandma, it's okay. Like, I'll be fine. And, Egypt's not as bad as you think. But it turned out that something happened to her. And so I guess I was, doing what if I hadn't have gone on that trip? What if I hadn't put her in the nursing home? So the oil for this stage is actually forgiveness. And as Jeremy just said, like, if you're angry at the person who has just died, then forgiveness. So forgiveness, you do clockwise around your navel, so around your belly button. You can put it behind your ears and on your wrists. It contains melissa, which is lemon balm, and that's the main oil that I can smell when I first smell it, because it's the top note in that. Geranium, frankincense, sandalwood, angelica, lavender, lemon, jasmine, Roman chamomile, bergamot, ylang-ylang, palmarosa, helichrysum, and beautiful rose is in forgiveness. All right. The next stage is what they call depression, or it's a stage where you feel hopelessness. You feel overwhelmed, you feel empty, and you can even feel hostile towards other people. So, because it's the stage where we feel hopeless, like we can't do anything,
Let me guess.
It's hope.
Yeah.
Okay. It also contains the beautiful melissa. Now, with this one, you can put it on the edge of your ears. Okay. Now, many people, like, you can look this up, say that there are parts of your ears that represent the parts of your body. So your ears actually represent your whole body, and they kind of look like, and I know this sounds funny, but they actually look like a fetus or a curled up little baby. And so when we're putting it around our ears, we're actually dealing with the emotional points. So putting it on the edge of our ears, our wrists, our chest, and once again, you can put it, like, you can do your solar plexus, so that's above your belly button. Hope not only contains melissa that I talked about before, but myrrh, juniper, and spruce. And it's good for if you've lost sight of your goals and your desires, which often when we feel sadness, we have lost sight of our goals and our desires. And when we need some hope for tomorrow. So that's what hope is all about. So I really love that oil.
It's not a pretty oil though, is it? It's not a pretty blend in terms of how it smells. You wouldn't.
I guess it depends. See, I really like it because it's got that lemon balmy, so it's quite citrus. It's not the sweet florals like a joy oil or something like that.
Would you diffuse it?
You can diffuse it, yeah. So, all right. So that was stage 4. I
think that's the toughest stage to go through. Honestly, because it actually comes out of that questioning, all those big questions. Why did it happen? Why did it happen to them? Why did it happen now? What's next? How do we get over this? Will we get over it? That's pretty powerful stuff. So, yeah, you definitely need to be prepared to work through those things.
Hopefully we're still there. Someone just tried to ring us. I'm not sure who. All right. The 5th...
So this is the 5th stage.
Yeah, the 5th stage is around acceptance and moving on and exploring new opportunities. So the oil that I've chosen for this stage is actually transformation. Okay, so with transformation, it helps us make mental and emotional changes in our bodies, in our lives. We can put it on our heart and on our third eye, okay? And the reason for that is so that we can unite our mind and our brain with our heart, okay? Because often these become disconnected. And so what we want to do with transformation is to unite our mind and our heart. So transformation contains lemon, peppermint, clary sage, sandalwood, Idaho blue spruce, sacred frankincense, cardamom, palo santo, and ocotea. And best of all, for the next, I think, 2 days, oh, it might be more. I think it's till the 15th.
Yeah.
You can actually get transformation for free with any 2 Ninja Reds on a standard order as part of Young Living's buy one get one free sale at the moment. So that's a great way to get transformation.
Really
Not only is transformation good as part of like the grieving process, but if you're transforming anything, like transforming your business, your life, your health goals, transformation is a great oil for doing that. So that's my 5.
Wow. Do you want to run through them quickly again?
All right, so stage 1 of the grieving process is denial and shock. So that's where we would use acceptance.
Yep.
Stage 2 is anger, frustration, and we use release. Stage 3 is the bargaining, or, asking yourself, what if, what if I had have gone to the doctor earlier? What if? So that's when we use forgiveness. Stage 4 of the grief process is what they call depression, overwhelm, and hopelessness. And that's when we're going to use hope. And stage 5 is acceptance, moving on and looking for new opportunities. And that's where we're going to use transformation. So hopefully that helps.
Thank you. That was awesome. Thanks for that. So we've had a little pivot. I think I mentioned that last time. And instead of Shutran, which we all know is amazing, I'm going to finish with my manly moment. Or did I say manly moment? Manly minute, I think.
No, I don't think you get a whole minute.
Let's stick with manly moment because it's an important one. Now, as a bloke, I've done lots of crazy, wild stuff. I have abseiled, I've rock climbed, I've surfed in, big waves, I've paddled down rivers, whitewater, rafted, I've done all those things. And I guess to some extent, they demanded some kind of courage or bravery. But if I had to say the times when I've needed most courage, I think, as a man, related to when my dad died, which wasn't that long ago. And part of that process was looking after him in hospital. And as a bloke, I think that probably drew me closer to my dad than anything else ever had before. Just watching him really just being vulnerable and helpless, and being able to sort of help him with that. But then when he actually died, I had to speak at the funeral, and it was awesome because Kim was there with me for that, and it was hard. And as guys, I think often we don't acknowledge our feelings, or we find it hard, and especially it's hard to cry as a bloke. So I guess I wanted to encourage you men, if you're watching this, that there's nothing weak about showing your emotions, especially in situations like that. So I guess my little product is Valor, and we've talked about Valor a lot, but one of the moments that I remember most from just before the funeral started was Kim came up to me and she gave me this, and I put some over my heart, and that was a powerful thing because it really gave me the courage that I needed to do the job that I needed to do. So there you go, manly moment, Valor. And fellas, never be afraid of expressing your emotions, whether that's to someone that you love, or those situations where you just have to let go and be honest with how you feel. There you go. It was pretty serious today, wasn't it?
Very serious.
It was. We would love to hear what you think about all this stuff. We love getting your comments, and so let us know if there are other oils that you've found helpful in that situation, other blends. Let us know that too in the comments. We'd love to find out what your experience has been. Yep. We'll be back
next week.
Next week. Monday. Alrighty. We'll see you guys.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.